First, the introduction. Luigi Verdi graduated in composition, conducting, and choral music and instrumentation. Studied in Bologna, Milan, and Pesaro.
Yes.
Graduated in philosophy at the University of Bologna. He taught composition at the conservatories of Adria, Bologna, Lucca, Milan, and Rome. He has written compositions with a particular interest in the relationship between music and visual arts, and the relationship between sound and colors. Among his monographs, Alexander Scriabin, Tra musica e filosofia, Kandinsky e Scriabin, Realtà e utopia nella Russia pre-rivoluzionaria. Organizzazione delle altezze nello spazio temperato, caleidocicli.
Yes, it's not important.
Okay.
You can cut.
In 1991, founder of the Boriasco Association for Scriabin, and since 1994, honorary member of the Scriabin Society of America in New York. Since 2019, member of the board of directors and then artistic scientific committee of the Sibelius Society in Italy. From 22, president of the Liszt Institute Foundation in Bologna. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation, for accept. And I don't know if it's because I don't show perhaps my face in the first part. I will read something, not this. But
okay.
What do you want?
I don't think we have technical way to show face because.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's not important. And the correspondence between Alexander Nikolaevich Scriabin and Mitrofan Belyaev, preserved in the Belyaev archive, covers a period of almost 10 years, beginning probably in December 1894 and ending in December 1903, about 10 years. Of course, we all know about the importance of Scriabin's legacy and the interest that every line written by his hand presents. Much more so every line from his personal correspondence. In this case, the interest of Scriabin's letter is doubled by the fact that they are addressed to Belyaev, also an extremely interesting and highly originally personated and major figure in Russian music life of the 80s and 90s. We have seen before with the other relation, Belyaev-Paneyev. These letters are especially because depict the early years of Scriabin's creative life, when he, by his own admission, wrote to almost no one, even to his father almost never. The entire correspondence contains 168 letters. This was 168 letters from Scriabin and 68 letters from Belyaev to Scriabin and 4 letters from Scriabin's aunt Lyubov Scriabina. 1 letter from Scriabin's wife, Vera. All things considered, some Scriabin's letters to Belyaev have been lost, but the loss is not very significant in terms of quantity. As for Belyaev's letters to Scriabin, only those preserved by Vera Scriabina, Scriabin's wife, have survived. All letters from Belyaev before April 12, 1897 appear to have been lost. The correspondence between Scriabin and Belyaev provide rich material for characterizing both correspondence, which it would be too appropriate to briefly outline here. It is necessary for understanding the relationship between them. My English is quite good, you can understand? Because I very bad English speaker.
Not now.
And in Scriabin, what first attracts attention is his ineptitude in practical life. This is often emphasized by himself. His aunt Lyubova Scriabina complained about it, and Belyaev often good-naturedly scolds him about it. It is not true, he writes to Scriabin, that you intend to remain a child all your life, whose neck is washed while he plays the piano. Indeed, writes Scriabin in a letter received by Belyaev, in some respects I am a perfect child. I cannot do anything with confidence. In his other letters, he constantly apologizes for his incorrigible disorganizations, for having made a mess again, and often assure him his effort and desire to improve. What comes of this effort we see from his letter from May 11, 1897, when he confesses to Belyaev, "You know, lately I decided to watch my every step, and the result, a whole series of mistakes." Another trait of Scriabin's nature reflected in his letter is his heightened nervousness, extraordinary sensitivity to the slightest external influences, and consequently a constant rapid change of various moods. As always, I am in a hurry, he writes in December 1896. Sometimes I am worried, sometimes I am at the height of bliss. At moments I fall into despondency. And all extreme moods, we read in another letter. Sometimes it seems that there is an abyss of strength. Everything is conquered, everything is mine. Then suddenly, a consciousness of complete helplessness, some kind of fatigue and apathy. There is never any balance. Scriabin's anxious attitude, as seen from his letters, was always exceptional. Today, he informs Belyaev from Paris in April 1896, it seems a tuberculosis patient is coming to our pension, and I am in great sorrow. I think of running away. The extraordinary delicacy and graceful politeness of Scriabin in his relations with people are evident from every line of his letters and deserve to be particularly noted. Together with my childish helplessness, writes Scriabin, I also have a sense of delicacy, which has never allowed me to trouble you with the organization of my concert, writes to Belyaev in February 1895. For me, there is nothing more unpleasant than to offend anyone, we read elsewhere. But Scriabin's courtesy never crosses those boundaries beyond which it ceased to be courtesy and could be called by some other name. I just do not know how and do not like to be sweet. He defines these boundaries in his letter on June 1897. As much as Scriabin's nature appears in the correspondence of soft, impressionably, changeably, woven from opposite moods, so much diametrically opposite, constant, and definite, emerged from his letter the figure of Belyaev. God naturally, rough, direct, precise, active, and demanding business principle, that is Belyaev, as he appears from his letter and as he was in life. Don't you sometimes blow your nose by mistake with your foot? He writes to Scriabin in April 1897. The honeymoon has already passed, he writes in another letter, and you probably are still licking your lips and not thinking at all about composition, are you? It's time you stopped showing off in front of me, he writes to Scriabin in Paris after a concert of the composer and his wife in her hall. You should now know that I won't believe you anyway. I can imagine how much trouble you had. And if there were, it was your fault. So, my dear, you can do that. Belyaev scolds Scriabin in his letter of March 1898 for being late with the arrangement of his piano concert. Such rational slovenliness is repugnant to me. Once you have taken some obligation, use your strength to fulfill it and don't live in idleness. As for new works, you cannot force yourself, but I consider arrangement to be tyrant, which a musician must do as labor, not as creativity. And if the work is ahead of him, then he should directly set certain hour during the day and occupy himself exclusively with it until it's finished. Despite the dissimilarity of the nature of both correspondents, their relations were remarkably friendly and cordial, and consequently all their correspondence has a deeply personal and sometimes intimate character. Do not to mention the numerous gifts from Belyaev to Scriabin, not to mention the constant material support of Belyaev to his young friends, as Scriabin calls himself in one of the first letters to Belyaev. After they switched to the informal you, not to mention all this, it is enough to cite just two excerpts from their letters, which fully characterize the mutual feeling. I wish you both artistic and material success, write Belyaev to Scriabin. But your failures or either kind will not surprise me or shake me. Sometimes no one can console me like you, writes Scriabin to Belyaev. Scold me and it will become easier for me. Related to the difference in character of both correspondents, the style of their letters, the style of the letters is related to different character of correspondence. The laconic short phrase of Belyaev letter is use of expressions that are quite coarse and completely unlike the terms of Scriabin letters, which are distinguished, despite sometimes their brevity, by an excellent completeness of form. As particularity of Scriabin style, clear but internally tense, one must point out this unusual use of punctuation. Is used the semicolon well and often, generally uses rather rarely, and in most cases omits the comma after introductory words and clauses. Always place it, however, before them. This gives speech impetuosity and to individual sentences and thoughts, cohesion and integrity. The handwriting of Scriabin letters is small, nervous, broken, and angular, remaining so until 1903, when there appear in it a presentiment of the elevated handwriting which is so characteristic of the last year of his life, and so different from his original handwriting. Is changed completely. I don't know if can show I have here some, perhaps just to interrupt I have, this is one letter to, to Belyaev in 1995. You see this, and this, the Scriabin letter after 15 years is completely changed. But no, after 10 years, you see, this is characteristic of last Scriabin. I have many, perhaps I just to stop read to show some picture. Of course, you can find on internet, but this is Scriabin father, Scriabin mother. Yes, you know that. As child, this is the family, and these are parents, brothers or fathers. Is Scriabin little. This is the aunt Lyubov, aunt and grandmother. This is a teacher of me. This is Scriabin with his father. And this is Zverev with all class. And we can see Scriabin and Rachmaninov. You know these pictures, yes. Yeah. This is, yeah.
We are not seeing pictures actually.
Yeah, yeah. And there are other scholars of this class. This is Zverev. Zverev is not the tennis player. Yes. He is piano teacher. Scriabin young. This is a friend. Frankly, now I don't remember the name. Limontov. What time is it?
They can't see the pictures. So I have to.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Share. Oh, we did. I think we did.
To show the picture.
Fenster.
But these pictures are not particularly original. This a young. What time is it? I stop when. This is Taneyev, the one professor. This is another Safonov. Is often cited in the letters. Liadov, thus is very much quoted in the letters because Liadov was a close, it works with Belyaev, and Scriabin write always, please tell hi to Liadov. And this is quite important because he give some composition, Liadov and Belyaev make, tell Scriabin to change something. And the most famous case is the etude, the most famous etude of Scriabin. You know what I mean, that had another version that today is forgotten. And Belyaev and Liadov tell Scriabin to change because was no good. And the new version is today the most famous composition of Scriabin. So that is an example. This is Conservatory. This is a friend, Hoffman, a pianist. This is the other friends, but this is Rachmaninoff. This is the diploma. This is the first love, and this is Belyaev. I want to show just, and this is the letters I show you. So I close what the last part. I want to come back to my text. Ecco, the most interesting moment in the entire correspondence, providing enormous material for psychologists and researchers of creative process, are undoubtedly those passages of Scriabin letters where he lifted the veil over the process of his creativity. With all his helplessness in the practical sense, in the realm of creativity, he was completely independent and did not allow anyone to interfere in any way. In any case, he acted with advisors from among his closest ones. The chief was Belyaev, but also Safonov and Liadov. As his heart acted with the counsels of reason, as he writes in a letter. I say that my heart relays to reason as a sensible artist to a critic. He listens to him, but continues to follow the house chosen path. And the critic tries terribly, review after review, instruction after instruction, and all to no avail. Also extremely interesting are the data communicated by Scriabin to Belyaev about nervous attacks, which according to Scriabin hound Liubo, always happened to him before the appearance of new musical thoughts. The attack is followed by an intensification of musical feeling, and then already the moment of creation itself. Creativity captures all of Scriabin without a trace. He works days and nights like a madman, in his own expressions. Experiences the great surge of spirit and nervous energy, after which, upon a completion of a work, as seen from his Parisian letter, come a moment of fatigue and desire for rest to restore the force expended. So here, you know that this letter have been published in Russian about a century ago, but don't exist one English or Italian translations. Some of them have been translated by Bowers, for example, the biographies, but the complete translation don't exist. I have here all the letters translated in English and in Italian for me, and I have just read the most important phrase, but I think my time is ready, and you see, I can roll. This is just the first letter that Scriabin wrote. Esteemed Mitrofan Petrovich, is December 1894. Please accept my sincere gratitude for your good wishes. For my part, I will try to justify the hopes placed in me and give all the strength of my mind and will to the service of beloved art. I thank Fate which send you to me on my life's path, and ask you to accept the assurance of my perfect devotion and gratitude, because Belyaev paid Scriabin a lot of money just for compose that. And we have many interesting things also about the creative process, for example, the concertos and personal life, for example, the marriage with first wife. And reading this correspondence, I think, can change the idea we have of Scriabin until today through the official biographies. And I try to go through this correspondence. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm afraid we don't have time for questions, but we can speak during lunch.
Yes.
If you need it. So thank you again.
Thank you. Please
Yes.
give me back.
Questa recording.
Yes, quite clear.